University of Toronto business degree. I want to make sure I've got this number right. So every year, the tuition for University of Toronto is $58,000 for international students per year. 4 years is 232,000 Canadian. That's 200,000 US dollars for a university degree at the University of Toronto. That's a lot of money, isn't it? Hi, welcome back. Once again, I'm Brendan Halligan. And today what I wanted to talk about was something very important for a lot of my clients and a lot of my students and a lot of my friends in not just Ukraine, but in China, the Middle East, South Korea, I wanted to talk today about sending your children to countries like Canada or Britain or Australia to a university, and what would be possibly a better choice. Okay, so a quick introduction. I was a professor of applied linguistics for universities like the University of Central Lancashire, New York University, Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology. I'm a professor trying to tell you, trying to give you reasons why you shouldn't send your children to universities in my country, or you going to university in my country. What I wanted to talk about, and I'll explain to you why, because you'll think this is crazy. Why would you do this, right? Like I said, a lot of my clients in Ukraine are sending their children when they turn 17, 18 to Canada. It's the most popular destination to get a university degree. And we talk about this a lot because they ask me for advice, and then usually they're always surprised when I say, my advice is don't do it. The reason why is these days it seems much more important to get skills at a young age than it is to get this overall university degree. Just last week, I had a friend of mine from Norway who is here, and he owns a logistics company in Norway, and he was telling me his company is worth 150 million euros now. He does not have a university degree. He had a high school diploma, then he went into the military, and then after the military, he started working for a logistics company. He got certificates from different, colleges and stuff, and then he, eventually started his own company, and now he's a multi-millionaire. And the funny part was, we were talking about how many people we know who are millionaires who have no university degrees, right? People who started up a plumbing, started as a plumber, and then owned a plumbing company, and then sold it for millions, or electricians, construction. I know more Canadians who are rich without a university degree than I know Canadians who are rich with a university degree. Now, the question becomes, well, yes, but you're Canadian or he's Norwegian. What's the difference? Well, I'll tell you what. $230,000 4-year University of Toronto business degree, which is usually the most popular degree, the most popular university for Ukrainians probably in the world. Centennial College Software Engineering Technician Certificate is 1 year, 2 semesters, $18,000 US. When you finish, it has between a 90 to 95% employment rate. The companies who are looking for people with this specific software certificate are companies, you might know some of them: American Express, IBM, and my bank, I invest in the Royal Bank of Canada. Let me repeat myself. 1 year at University of Toronto is 58,000 Canadian, 50,000 US. The entire certificate at Centennial College is 18,000 US. When you finish your 4-year University of Toronto degree, you are going to be very good at making coffee at Starbucks for a couple of years, Right? There is a lot of people with that degree. Instead, if you just do 2 semesters at Centennial, you have around a 90% chance of getting a job in that specific field of software. What makes it even more interesting, if you let me just continue to do this, and I'm not selling you, I make no money from Centennial College. I definitely don't make money from the University of Toronto, even though my mother graduated from University of Toronto. If you do that specific certificate at Centennial College, they have partnerships in Canadian universities like York University and Brock. York University is as good, if not better, than the University of Toronto when you look at them. Partnerships, what this means is you can take the courses you studied at Centennial and then you apply them to the university degree later. Right? So, for example, if you did a year at Centennial for $18,000, they will take a year off, at least a year off of your university degree in the future. Right? So if you do this University of Toronto, instead of you paying $58,000 or $50,000 US dollars for 1 year, you could have paid $18,000 at Centennial instead, and also had skills that would be applied with a job. Right? Now, the other thing a lot of my clients say, they'll say, yes, but Brendan, we want that university degree so that they can go towards a Canadian citizenship. And I say, this is true. But also, the thing is a Canadian citizenship, you can also do this with a college certificate and then work after, right? So another path for your child is to go to Centennial, right? Easier to get into. You get a software thing. That software technician, the reason why I'm using that course specifically is it is the second highest demand job in Canada, right? So you will get this. After you do 2 semesters, you get a job. You work in the job for 4 years. The job will be paying much better than working as a coffee person at Starbucks, right? After 4 years working in that field, you can also apply for Canadian citizenship. When you get your citizenship, you can then apply to study at the University of Toronto as a Canadian student, not as an international student. The difference in the tuition is Canadian students pay $8,000 tuition rather than $50,000 tuition, right? So if you are a parent, or even if it's yourself, let me just think about the logic here, right? They go after 2 semesters, they get a job, they work for 4 years, then they actually have a job where they can pay for their university degree, not you, right? So you don't even have to pay for this. You can let them pay. They've got a good job, right? And then they can go through. The other point I also wanted to make, just a couple smaller points about this, is a lot of these colleges are not in big cities. They're in smaller towns in Canada. Why is this important? Because in a University of Toronto, most of your friends for your children will probably be also speaking Russian like them or Chinese. They have huge international communities. The language they will most likely not be speaking is English. If you put them into a smaller college, all the students around them will be speaking English, which means when they finish, they will have had to develop the English abilities they would not have if they were in downtown Toronto, the University of Toronto, with all of these Russian and Ukrainian and Belarusian people around them, and they go, wow, I don't need to speak English, right? And the last point is it doesn't even have to be about the university degrees. Smaller towns in Canada, of course, are much, much cheaper, right? So even when you remove the job opportunities, the tuition fees, you're talking about an apartment in Toronto for your child, which could be $2,000 to $3,000 for a little studio, compared to the same apartment in a place like Sudbury, where they have Algonquin College, which I think it's Algonquin in Laurier and Sudbury, which is about $800, right? Same apartment, a third of the price, also including food, everything else like this. So like I said, that's all I wanted to talk about today, is just to give you another option to think about if you're thinking of going to another country like Canada or Britain or Australia. They're all the same, or sending your child. So if you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and also all of my details are below. So if you wanted to contact me for private work, if you wanted me to help you with your English before you went, you can contact me. The details are below. My website links and my Facebook are there. And that's it. Have a great day, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.